going on, guys? This is Prodigy bringing you another Black Ops 3 video here on Nuketown. And I know there's not enough of these on YouTube, right? But I'm using the Sheiva here, and I'm using the Marshal 16s as an akimbo as my secondary. And I gotta tell you guys, this is probably the most OP setup that I can currently think of in Black Ops 3 right now, because it's just ridiculous. You absolutely melt people with the Sheiva, especially with high caliber, and with the marshals as a secondary, as a backup. They're just basically pocket shotguns that you can whip out at any time you want. And I personally think the Marshal 16s are the most OP weapon in the game, and you guys will probably see some examples of that in this gameplay here, because some of the kills I get on people with these things are ridiculous. The marshals are basically just like a get out of jail free card, and if you're in a tough situation, just pull out the Marshal 16s. Even better if you have them akimbo, and that's basically it. You won. Alright, but enough of that here. And before I get into my topic though, I also choked 100 kills. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have still yet to get 100 kills in a game in Black Ops 3. I don't know why, I don't know how, but somehow I just haven't gotten 100 kills yet. And I realized, like, almost 3/4 of the way through this game, that wait a minute, I could get 100 kills. So I started going hard, but I ended up choking, and I get 98 kills. And towards the end there, you'll see me just kind of getting reckless, just desperately trying to get 2 more kills before the game ended. But I ran out of time, and I ended up with 98 kills. So I was a little bit salty, but I mean, I guess you can't really complain about a 98 kill game. So hey, you do what you do, and sometimes you don't come out on top, even though we did come out on top because we still won. But I didn't get 100 kills, so I was sad. Alright, but enough about that. I actually wanted to talk to you guys about a topic, and that is, do you think Call of Duty takes skill? Because there are a lot of people out there who will make the argument that Call of Duty takes no skill whatsoever, and you know, anybody can be good in Call of Duty. Now, the second part of that statement I agree with. Anybody can be good at Call of Duty, but not everybody is good at Call of Duty. And because of that, I personally think that yes, Call of Duty does take skill. Because in order to do good in Call of Duty, you have to do good in a variety of areas. I may have talked about this before on my channel, but if you want to do good at Call of Duty, you have to master a certain variety of things in the game, some of which being map awareness, general situational awareness, you know, map knowledge, spawn knowledge. You have to know which guns are good in which situations. You have to know different timings. You have to know map design. What are popular flank routes? Where might people be coming from? And you have to, you know, of course, have good aim and be able to outgun people in gunfights. So, I mean, if you factor all of that stuff in, and there's more stuff that I could go into detail of, but I'm gonna, you know, just end it there. But if you factor all of that in, then I mean, you can't really argue the fact that Call of Duty does indeed take skill to be good at the game. You know, that's just what it is. Anybody can't pick up a controller and, you know, drop a wraith or get wraps, you know, every single game. All right, you know, not everybody can do that, because not everybody has the skill to do so. Because being able to outgun people and being able to aim and snap on people and shoot them to the point where they die and you don't, majority of the time. So I would consider being good at Call of Duty maintaining an average of a 1 to 1.2 KD. And that's about average right there. So if you have around that KD, I consider that to be about average. You know, nothing special. And if you can get higher, like a 1.5 or even higher than that, then I would consider that to be pretty good, because that basically means every life you get more than 1 kill. So if you're just running around and you get a kill, die, get a kill, die, get a kill, die, you know, that's not bad. It's just average. But if you're able to get more than 1 kill per life, then I would consider that to be pretty good, because you have to put yourself in pretty good situations in order to be able to do that. And so for those reasons, I would consider that to be, you know, I would consider that to be a good player. Now, that's not to say that KD ratio is everything that defines a player. It's just a good, you know, judging ground to determine, you know, on an average basis, on a consistent basis, how does this player perform. and a KD ratio is a good indicator of that, but it does not mean everything. All right, I just want to make that clear. KD ratio is not everything. So I just wanted to make that point to kind of give a standard basis as to what I consider to be a good player. So you have to factor in all of those things I talked about earlier, gun skill, map knowledge, spawn knowledge, all that jazz. And also factor in how many kills per life a person can get. So that answers that question. I personally do believe Call of Duty takes skill, but I also wanted to touch on something else real quick that kind of messes up that formula, and that is the amount of randomness that is currently in Call of Duty. And by randomness, I mean things that kind of just throw off the meta, throw off the formula, and make some things happen that just shouldn't happen, alright? Some of these things include, but are not limited to, lag, of course. We all like to blame lag. High caliber headshots, especially with the Sheiva that you see me using in this gameplay. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. But the perks like Tracker, perks like Sixth Sense, perks like Awareness. Not so much Awareness, but Awareness can throw off the meta a little bit sometimes. But things like that. And I want to highlight High Caliber because that's probably the biggest randomness factor that is in the game currently, because especially with the view kick is another thing I should throw in there. The view kick adds a whole lot of randomness in this game because you never know which direction your character is gonna flinch. You flinch extremely hard, and it makes it like a coin toss almost in certain gunfight situations. So when you combine that with High Caliber and you start shooting somebody before they shoot you, and you kick their gun up and they shoot you and they just happen to hit you in the head and they insta-melt you with a High Caliber shot, when you really should have gotten that kill because you were on target before they even started shooting you, that is an example of something that throws an element of randomness into the game. It makes things happen that shouldn't happen, and those things aren't necessarily things that take skill to do. So while I do believe Call of Duty in general does take skill to be good at, because not everybody can be good at Call of Duty, I also believe that, especially as of late in Black Ops 3, there's so many more elements of randomness in the game that causes things to happen that shouldn't happen. I've probably said this before on my channel, but my biggest complaint about this game is that it just feels so inconsistent. Like, even the guns feel inconsistent at some times because, you might use something and then the next day it just doesn't feel the same, it doesn't perform the same. You're using an M8, for example, and you feel like you're putting 2 complete bursts into people and they're just not dying. So the game feels inconsistent, whether it's the netcode, the lag, the hit detection, the High Caliber. The game just feels overall inconsistent at times, and it just adds a whole lot of randomness. So that's gonna wrap it up for me today. This actually went on a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but hopefully I got my point across and you guys understand where I'm coming from. If you agree, let me know in the comments below. If you disagree, also let me know in the comments below, because I'd be interested to hear some of you guys' opinion in regards to this matter. But that's gonna wrap it up for me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and the gameplay in the background. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I really appreciate that. But once again, this is Prodigy. Thanks for listening.